Hi everyone, this is Rob from Practical Tactical, and this is a short review of the Holosun 407C full-sized pistol optic. The 407C was introduced in 2020 as Holosun's entry into the full-size pistol optic category. It shares a lot of features with its smaller sibling, the 407K, but it's got a large body and a window instead of the 407K's small size. The 407C is 1.78 inches long, 1.24 inches wide across the front, and about 1.14 inches tall. Just like the 407K, the 407C's body is 7075 T6 aluminum and it's got a glass window in front. Just like the 407K, it's IP67 water resistant and it weighs in at 1.5 ounces, which is about 50% heavier than the 407K. MSRP for the 407C is about $290 and you can find it on Brownells for a little under that, about $245, which is what I paid. The 407C comes in the standard Holosun box, and again, I think this is one of the nicer boxes on the market, anything this side of an RMR. We'll open that up here. Inside the box, you've got the Holosun paperwork, cleaning cloth, you've got the Holosun tool to adjust the turrets and to mount the screws. And again, you get 2 screws with Loctite already applied on there. I didn't use those because screws came with my slide cut. And of course the optic itself and a battery is included. That battery that's included is a single CR1632 battery, and just like the 407K, it's mounted in this nice tray on the side of the optic here. Again, this is really nice because you don't have to dismount the optic in order to change the battery out. You just unscrew this, slide the tray out, put your battery in there, and slide the tray back in. Not having to dismount the optic means not having to re-zero it every time you switch the batteries out. Just like the 407K, the 407C can deliver up to 50,000 hours of life on setting 6. And this one also has the same shake awake feature, so the thing turns off after it senses no movement for a certain amount of time. And then as any small movement, like tapping on a table or picking the pistol up or anything like that, turns it right back on. Just like the 407K, it's super effective. I love it. I've never picked this thing up and the optic has been off. It's always been on. Anytime I pick the pistol up off the table, pull it out of a holster or anything like that, it's always good, always ready to go. The reticle on the 407C is a 2 MOA dot with 10 levels of brightness adjustment. See if I can get this one on camera as well. There we go. So it's a smaller dot than the 407K. This one does, for me, since I have astigmatism, have a little bit of starburst effect, which I did not find in the 407K. It's not terrible. It's just a little bit more prevalent, a little bit more noticeable. It's a good size starburst, so I'm not able to be as accurate with this as I am out to distance with the 407K, but it's still really not bad, all things considered. It's really something you should take into account though if you have astigmatism just like I do. Just like the 407K, the 407C has the brightness of the reticle controlled by these 2 buttons on the side. Again, they're flush mounted, so it reduces the possibility of them being actuated by accident. It also has that same lockout feature, which disables input from the buttons to completely negate any sort of accidental input. Again, to actuate that, you hold down the plus button for 3 seconds and then the reticle will blink to confirm turning that mode on or off. What this does have, apart from the 407K, is this cool solar backup mode. So you see the solar panel on the top of the housing here. What this does is basically act as a battery backup. If your battery dies, it will draw light in from the solar panel to power the reticle, and this also powers the unit's automatic brightness adjustment. So in addition to being able to adjust the brightness with the buttons here, the unit can actually be set for automatic brightness adjustment where it'll measure light coming in from the solar panel and it'll adjust the brightness of the dot accordingly. Just like the 407K, I just picked a brightness setting that was good for me and set it and locked the buttons out. I found that the automatic brightness adjustment adjusted the reticle a little bit too dim for me for indoor use and barely bright enough for outdoor use. So again, just like the other one, I picked a setting and just locked it there. Again, just like the 407K, Holosun says that this is zeroed at 25 yards out of the box, which I again found pretty accurate. I took it out, mounted it to the slide. I checked to make sure that the dot was pretty close to my front sight, and it was. Put a couple rounds on paper, and again, I was hitting a little bit low, so a couple clicks on the adjustment here, and I was right on target. The turrets for the adjustments are just like the 407K. We've got elevation here on the back, and we've got windage here on the right side of the optic. They work exactly the same as you would expect from Holosun. It's not really super audible, but you can feel the click when you click through it, so it's nice feedback when you're adjusting the turrets. I've had the 407C a little bit longer than I've had the 407K. I got this one first. And after living with this one, this is actually, the experience with this is actually what prompted me to get the 407K. I love this thing. I think it's great. It's huge, it's built well, it's got a huge window, it's got a really nice reticle to it that's not even really that bad with my astigmatism. I love the battery on the side. I love the easy adjustment for the elevation and windage. I love the lockout mode. I appreciate the solar adjustment for the reticle, even though I don't use it. And I really like the solar backup. For what you pay for this thing, 250 bucks, just like the other one, I think this is great. I've put quite a few rounds through this, probably a little over 1,000 on this slide. And just like the other one, it's never blinked, never gone out, never had any problems losing zero or anything like that. It's just rock solid all the time, every time I pick it up. And it's just a great optic. Again, for what you pay, I think it's pretty representative of the entire Holosun lineup, that it's just a lot of value packed into a small optic. So that was the PT quick review on the Holosun 407C. Just like its little brother, I think it's a great optic. I think it's a great value for the money, and I think you should grab yourself one if you're interested in putting an optic on your pistol. If you're interested, you can check out the link in the description. There'll be a link there to Brownells where you can pick one of these up. There will also be a link to the blog with articles about this and other practical tactical content that I think you're going to find really interesting. That's all I've got for you on this. On your way out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And until next time, stay safe.